any Israelite group. But that didn't stop him from doing shows and connecting everything. That way, when they do their investigations on us, Vocab, he's the top guy with all the intel, because that guy is a straight up agent. Well, when you go into the history of what Haman tried to do, let's go to one of the letters that he tried to send to the king to get us offed by the king. Let's go to the edition of Esther. Let's go to the 13th chapter, and when you read it, it sounds like something Vocab would do. But this is editions of Esther 13, and one that says the copy of the letters was this: the great king Artaxerxes writeth these things to the provinces and governors that are under him from India unto Ethiopia in 127 provinces. After that I became lord over many nations and had dominion over the whole world, not lifted up with the presumption of my authority, but carrying myself always with equity and mildness, I propose to settle my subjects continually in a quiet life, and making my kingdom peaceable and open for passage to the utmost coast to renew peace, which is desired of all men. Now when I asked my counselors how this might be brought to pass, Haman, that excelled in wisdom among us, and was approved for his constant goodwill and steadfast fidelity, and had the honor of the second place in the kingdom, declared unto us that in all nations through the world there was scattered a certain malicious people. All right, talking about the Israelites, the Jews at the time. It was mainly Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Because this is what he put out about us, trying to get us exterminated. It says that had laws contrary to all nations, and continually despised the commandments of kings, so as the uniting of our kingdoms honorably intended by us cannot go forward. Seeing then we understand that this people alone is continually in opposition unto all men. These guys, they're different. They keep these commandments, these laws. They're extreme with their beliefs. They're this, they're that. This is how they presented us back then. Differing in the strange manner of their laws and evil affected to our state, working all the mischief they can that our kingdom may not be firmly established. Therefore have we commanded that all they that are signified in writing unto you by Haman, who is ordained over the affairs and is next unto us, shall all with their lives, with their wives and children, be utterly destroyed by the sword of their enemies, without all mercy and pity, the 14th day of the 12th month Adar of this present year. Okay, so basically he didn't want any mercy or pity shown to us. That goes back to that hatred that Esau would have, that his anger would tear perpetually. Okay, you can also read Ezekiel the 35th chapter. This is why they're going to pay. We've always been at war with these people. It says that they who of old and now are and are Slakia, who of old and now also are malicious, may in one day with violence go to the grave, and so ever hereafter cause our affairs to be well settled and without trouble. Okay, and we know that the Lord, put the spirit on Mordecai, to overturn this whole situation. He caught wind of those men discussing. Basically, that was plotting to take him out. When you read Esther, and basically Esther was able to leak that information directly to the king, because he had favor with Esther. All right, she risked her life and saved Israel. And what happened? Haman and his family ended up on those gallows. thing applies in the spirit. All right, no matter how hard you try to come against us, vocab, no matter how devoted you are to try to, offset, what we're trying to do, you trying to overthrow the faith of Israelites, which really, if you do that, I mean, you're just being a sifter. The Lord he's not going to save all of Israel. So all the niggas that do follow you, or they're taken by the things that you're saying and doing, then hey, they're the ones that fell by the wayside. Okay? But you is pretty evident. It's pretty clear. You're the adversary, all right, that the Lord raised up. Okay? And another interesting thing before I end off, because I don't want to make this too long of a video. Where is it at? But basically, when you do further research on Reezer, let me see. You basically went into the etymology of the word Reezer, and when you actually break it down, what it actually means. Let me see. Yep, here it is. It says, many people such as the Reezer family adopted the name of their feudal occupation as their surname. The name goes back to the medieval German Ries or Riesel, which meant literally branch or twig. All right? And, when I saw that, I was like, wow. That reminded me of when the Lord said he would neither leave root nor branch. Because that's also what he's going to do to Amalek. All right, Amalek is going to perish forever. Let's go to Numbers 24. All right, Numbers 24. And I'll start at 16. It says, and this is the Lord speaking to Balaam. He hath said, which heard the words of the Most High and knew the knowledge of the Most High, which saw the vision of the Almighty falling into a trance, but having his eyes open, I shall see him, but not now. I shall behold him, but not nigh. There shall come a star out of Jacob, and a scepter shall rise out of Israel. Talking about, Yahushai. He's that morning star. He's that bright morning star. He's also, the ruler. All right, the governor that's going to rule Israel, and shall smite the corners of Moab and destroy all the children of Sheth. And Edom shall be a possession. Seir also shall be a possession for his enemies, and Israel shall do valiantly. Out of Jacob shall come he that shall have dominion, and shall destroy him that remaineth of the city. And when he looked on Amalek, he took up his parable and said, Amalek was the first, all right, the head of the nations, but his latter end shall be that he perish forever. Okay? It will be neither root nor branch. And that's going to take place pursuant to Obadiah 18, which, he's said, that prophecy has been fulfilled already. But really, he can't even make up his mind on that. He doesn't know. But it makes perfect sense why he would run from that particular prophecy. Because what if you have to deal with the fact that you're one of those people? So I understand why you try to shun off your actual lineage and real heritage and cleave to your mother's side. I get it. But it doesn't negate the fact that you are one of them, and you're gonna share the fate. All right, you can hide behind the Christian religion if you want, and really you're just an agent anyway. You're one of Satan's ministers. All right, be not marvel if his ministers transform themselves to the ministers of light. Okay. But now it's very clear why against these people or question these people. I've asked you many different times, what about that Talmud? Because your job is to try to point out how toxic the Hebrew Israelite religion is, but you refuse to scrutinize the Babylonian Talmud that a lot of those 1948ers uphold and live by. You know, the Sadducees who scribed it. There's translations of that book in English, and we've looked into that book. There's a lot of inflammatory shit in that book, but you refuse to cover that. The same way you attack us and you attack the Muslims, you refuse to attack those 1948ers that practice Judaism and that uphold the Talmud. When you gonna do a video on the Talmud? You ain't gonna do that because you're gonna be going to. you already know, all right. But you getting exposed, man. Okay, so if you brothers and you sisters, you see why we always go back and forth with this guy. Why there's always videos being made against this guy, and this guy constantly, makes videos about us. It's spiritual. It just goes back to the war with Amalek. That's all. He's an Agag. He's a descendant of the people who the Lord told Saul, do not spare children, do not spare their cattle, slaughter all of them. Don't spare. And what did Saul do? So anyway, that's pretty much the lesson. I just want to go into that. Lord willing, this was edifying. Hey, vocab. Hey, man. We and the apostles, they always try to give you the benefit of the doubt. They always say that it's still a possibility that you can be a J, but the spirit that's within you, the things that you do, it's just it screams Amalek, man. It screams Esau. Okay, and that line, that name of yours is a dead giveaway. That surname. So it is what it is. I'm going to close out. I'm going to give all praise to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Until the next lesson, Shalom.